Um, how do our brains think?
Hi, I'm Brad Postal. I'm a professor of psychology and psychiatry here at the University of Wisconsin-Madison. I guess the first place we could start is what does a nervous system do for an animal? So let's compare, say, a person with a plant, like a tree. So a very simple demonstration of your nervous system is if you're at the doctor's office and the doctor hits your patellar tendon on your knee, and your knee reflex, your patellar reflex sends your leg forward. So that doesn't involve your brain. It's a simple reflex arc with two neurons, but it already does more than what a plant can do. So now let's say that you are walking on the playground and suddenly you see a circular object looming and headed towards you. Your eye detects the fact that this object is coming towards you, and a reaction that you might have, which is like a reflex, is that the signals going from your eye into the visual part of your brain will communicate with other neurons, which will send signals to muscles in your body that will make you contract those muscles and duck out of the way so that the object doesn't hit you. What I have described are necessary components that you need in order to be able to think. You need nerve cells that can detect information about the outside world, that can transmit that information to other nerve cells. And it's this transmission of information that's the fundamental physical basis for how thinking works. Now, another critical part of the nervous system, of the brain, that supports thinking is the fact that nerve cells can change. They can, in effect, learn about past experiences so that they respond differently when an experience is re-encountered. If you know that there's a soccer game going on, when you see this object looming towards you, you probably won't be surprised because you know that there's a soccer game. The fact that you knew that there's a soccer game happening in the playground means that stored in your brain before you even walked onto the playground was what we call a representation of what it means to play a game, of what it means to play soccer. And so a big part of thinking turns out to be the ongoing updating by the brain of the current environmental situation. So even when you're not effortfully thinking, the way we use the word in the colloquial sense, like trying hard to remember a fact, somebody's name, or trying hard to solve a puzzle, let's say, your brain nonetheless is just as active, keeping track of where you are in the environment, what events you might expect to happen in the near future. And so an important part of thinking is knowing what the context is, and that in turn results from having a nervous system that can reshape itself so as to acquire knowledge about how the world works, such that when identical or similar events recur in your life, you respond to them differently.